Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Welcome back to our channel. After a comprehensive overview about the initial 30 types of angels created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are now moving towards Angel Sābit Saqa. Among the many ranks of angels created by Allah, the angels of Sābit Saqa occupy a subtle and deeply mysterious role. The term Sabiqun means those who are foremost, advanced and steadfast, and it echoes in the Qur'an, especially in Surah Al-Waqi'ah. These verses point not only to the foremost among humans in faith, but also to angelic beings who are eternally established, meaning Sabit, in their precedence, meaning Sabqa, of obedience, proximity and alignment with divine decree. Thus, the angels of Sābit Saqa are understood by scholars and mystics as a class of angels who have never faltered, never turned, and who are eternally firm in their obedience and nearness to Allah. These are the beings of unfathomable might, created from the most luminous light of Nur Muhammadi, meaning the divine light of Prophet Muhammad. In Islamic tradition, these angels are often described as the fixed ones in divine knowledge, those who were decreed from the very beginning of creation to remain in perfect submission, never testing or questioning divine command as Iblis once did. Where some angels were sent for tasks of writing, carrying, fighting, or guarding, the Sābit Saqa are marked by their absolute stability. They neither deviate nor tire, they neither fall into doubt nor question the wisdom of Allah. Their precedence, meaning Sabqa, lies in their rank, for they were among the earliest to be created and among the most constant in bowing before divine majesty. The Qur'an hints at their nature in verses that speak of the angels who are forever stationed in rows, never weary, glorifying day and night without fatigue. Tasawwufi and Tariqat commentaries expand on this, saying that these angels represent the firmness of divine order itself. They are the angelic reflection of Allah's unchanging decree, meaning Al-Qada al-Mubram, where other angels execute tasks. The Sābit Saqa embody the unchangeable principles of divine will. Their very existence reassures creation that divine justice and mercy are never compromised, and that Allah's order is stable beyond the reach of chaos. Mystics such as Hazrat Ibn Arabi and later Tasawwufi commentators considered these angels to be linked with the Ahl al-Sabiqun among humans, those saints, prophets and Gnostics who are foremost in their journey to Allah. Just as angels of Sābit Saqa never waver in obedience, so too do the spiritual elect among mankind become fixed in their nearness to Allah through constant remembrance, annihilation of the ego, meaning fana, and subsistence in Allah, meaning baqa. Thus, these angels are both companions and witnesses to the elite of humanity, serving as unseen supporters in their journeys of light. Their introduction into the story of creation becomes even more striking when we recall the dialogue of the angels at Adam's creation. Will you place in it those who cause corruption and shed blood? Tasawwufi scholars note that while some angels questioned, there were also those who did not, those who remained fixed, meaning Sabit, in silent obedience, never doubting divine wisdom. These, they argue, are the angels of Sābit Saqa, the ones who reflect the highest adab, meaning etiquette before Allah, never speaking except when commanded, never questioning except to increase knowledge, and always maintaining the precedence of humility. In the realm of Barzakh and on Qiyamah, these angels play a symbolic role as well. They embody Allah's eternal decree that cannot be altered. While other angels administer mercy, punishment or recording, the angels Sābit Saqa remain as eternal witnesses to Allah's constancy. Their very presence reassures the believers that divine order will not collapse, that no injustice will ever befall them, and that every decree has been stable from the very beginning. In Tasawwuf, the symbolism of the angels Sābit Saqa angels is particularly profound. They are said to represent the state of the soul once it has been anchored in Allah's remembrance, unshakable, unmovable, and forever fixed in divine presence. Just as these angels never tire of dhikr, the perfected human being, meaning al-Insan al-Kamil, who trains under a Kamil Murshid, reaches a state where every breath is remembrance, every heartbeat is worship, and every thought is obedience. In this sense, the seeker of Allah reflects the light of Sābit Saqa when he becomes stable in the zikr of his Lord, surpassing even the angels by remembering Allah out of free will rather than fixed nature. Thus, the angels of Sābit Saqa remind humanity of the highest spiritual potential to become fixed in faith, constant in remembrance, and foremost in nearness to Allah. Their role is both cosmic and personal. They guard the stability of divine decree in the universe, and they reflect the stability of the perfected soul in its journey to Allah. Before going further, a quick update. All our videos are available in both English and Urdu languages on our YouTube channel. You can find them by navigating to our playlists where all our videos are available for your convenience. Now let's continue. Quranic mentions. In Surah Al-Waqi'ah verses 10 and 11, and the foremost are the foremost, those are the ones brought near to Allah. This is the clearest root of the concept of angels, Sābit Saqa. Just as humans are ranked by who is foremost in obedience, scholars extended this to certain angels who are foremost in creation, never wavering in their servitude, and fixed meaning Thabit, in precedence meaning Sabqa. In Surah Al-Anbiya verses 19 and 20, to him belongs whoever is in the heavens and the earth, and those near him are not too proud to worship him, nor do they weary. They glorify him night and day, and they never pause. These verses describe a class of angels who are eternally constant in dhikr, a key characteristic of angel Sābit Saqa. Their unbroken remembrance shows their fixedness in obedience. In Surah As-Safat, verses 1 to 3. By those angels who line up in rows, and those who drive away evil with sternness, and those who recite the reminder, these angels are eternally stationed in perfect ranks, never breaking their order. This firmness in rows was seen by Tasawwufi commentators as part of the Sābit Saqa, angels eternally fixed in their stations by divine command. In Surah An-Nahl verses 49 and 50, and to Allah prostrates whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on the earth of living creatures, and the angels as well, and they are not arrogant. They fear their Lord above them, and they do what they are commanded. These angels never question or resist. Their constancy in doing exactly as commanded marks their unshakable role as the fixed ones. In Surah Az-Zumar verse 75, and you will see the angels surrounding the throne, glorifying the praise of their Lord, and judgment will be made between them in truth. Angels encircling the throne, eternally praising, symbolize the unchangeable constancy of divine decree. Many Sufi exegetes tie this to angels Sābit Saqa, as they represent the cosmic fixedness of Allah's justice and mercy. In Surah Al-Infitar verses 10 to 12. But indeed, over you are appointed guardians. Noble and recording, they know whatever you do, although usually applied to angels Raqib and Atid. Tasawwufi interpreters sometimes extend this to the idea of angels Sābit Saqa, angels whose task is firmly established from the beginning, never deviating from their precise roles. In Surah At-Tawbah verse 100, and the foremost as Sabiqun, the first among the emigrants and the helpers, and those who followed them in excellence. Allah is pleased with them, and they are pleased with Him. While this directly refers to the earliest believers, many Tasawwuf scholars drew a parallel. Just as there are Sabiqun among humans, there are angels who were foremost in never questioning Allah during Adam's creation, unlike others who hesitated. These are described as the angels Sābit Saqa. In our previous videos, we also explored the verse on how Allah created every living thing from water. The creation of the waters above the dome and below the flat earth, firmament dome above the flat earth, actual shape of the earth according to the Qur'an and Islamic cosmology, primordial waters of the heavens, the kursi meaning the footstool of Allah, the arsh meaning the throne of Allah, la al-mahfuz, the sacred tablet, the pen meaning al-qalam, why Allah created the universe, the first creation of Allah, the 7 portals and dimensions of the universe, and discussed where Allah was before He created the universe. If you haven't watched them yet, please do. Now, let's continue. Hadith mentions, in Hadith of Sahih Muslim 1320, Musnad Ahmad and Tirmidhi, the Prophet said, the heavens creaked, and they had a right to creak, for there is not the space of a handspan in the heavens, except that there is an angel prostrating or standing in worship of Allah. This shows a class of angels eternally fixed in positions of worship, without pause. Sufis interpret these as part of the angels Sābit Saqa. The Hadith of Sahih Bukhari 3191 and Sahih Muslim 2730. The Messenger of Allah said, Allah has angels who travel the road seeking out the people of dhikr. When they find people remembering Allah, they call out to one another, come to what you are seeking. Then they envelop them with their wings until the sky of the world. These angels are described as firm in their mission, continuously moving and never distracted. Their stability and function is linked with angels Sābit Saqa, the Hadith of Sahih Muslim 81, and Tirmidhi describing the angels. The Prophet said, they do not disobey Allah in what He commands them, and they do what they are commanded. A defining mark of angels, Sabit Saqa, complete constancy, never wavering or questioning. The Hadith of Sahih Muslim 430 and Abu Dawood 664, the Prophet said, will you not form ranks as the angels form ranks before their Lord? They complete the first rows and stand close together in the row. This hadith reflects the same Quranic imagery of Surah Safat, verses 1 to 3. The angels who are permanently stationed in rows are seen as fixed in their stations. Sabit Saqa. The hadith of Sahih Muslim 133 and Ibn Majah 4329, the Prophet said, around Allah's throne are angels, some in prostration, some bowing, some standing, and some sitting. They never lift their heads until the day of resurrection. These angels are the epitome of angels Sābit Saqa, eternally firm in one act of worship, never shifting, never deviating. The Hadith of Sahih Bukhari 3044 and Sahih Muslim 1763. During the Battle of Badr, the Prophet said, rejoice, for Allah has promised me one of the 2 groups. By Allah, it is as if I can see the places where the enemy will fall, and Jibril is leading 1,000 angels, all of them marked with distinguishing signs. These angels, unwavering in their mission, symbolize the Sabqa, meaning precedence of obedience. They execute divine decree instantly and firmly. Of Hadith Tabarani and Musnad Ahmad, the Prophet said, Allah created the angels from light. They do not eat, nor drink, nor disobey, but they remain fixed in obedience. This is a general but direct statement on their nature. Angels as Sabit, meaning fixed in obedience and never changing. Descriptions and numbers of the angels of Sābit Saqa. They are described in Qur'an and Hadith as never tiring, never distracted, and never pausing in glorifying Allah. Some are eternally prostrating, some standing, some bowing, others encircling the throne. They do not change their position until Qiyamah. Each is fixed, meaning Thabit, in their station. Angels of Sābit Saqa reflect majesty, meaning Jalal, and beauty, meaning Jamal of Allah. Hadith describe them with immense wings, like Hadith of Sahih Bukhari 3232. The angels were created with wings, some 2, some 3, some 4, which symbolize their strength and their unshakable roles. Their faces are always turned in humility toward Allah, radiant with light, as angels are created from nur, meaning light. Many of them are permanently around the arsh, meaning throne, praising Allah without pause. Each one is described as having a fixed form of worship. Some never lift from sujud, others remain bowing until the end of time. Unlike the angels who asked about Prophet Adam's creation, the angels Sābit Saqa are said by Tasawwufi commentators to have remained silent and submissive, never questioning divine wisdom. This shows their perfect adab, meaning spiritual etiquette. They are seen as witnesses of divine decree, embodying Allah's constancy. Their very being reflects stability. They do not change, do not falter, and their obedience is sealed. Hadith of Sahih Muslim 13:20 state the heavens creaked, for there is not the space of a handspan except that there is an angel prostrating or standing. This implies their numbers are beyond human comprehension, filling every span of the heavens. Hadith of Sahih Muslim 133 state angels are seen encircling the throne in unending circles. Some scholars said they are in 70,000 rows, reflecting a symbolic number for vastness. Classical tafsir mentions innumerable rows of angels, each one unshakable. Hazrat Imam Suyuti says they are in rows as only Allah knows, filling the heavens. Some Tasawwufi masters suggested that for every foremost human like a wali, prophet or martyr, there is a corresponding angel of Sabit Saqa in the heavens, a mirror of their firmness. Role with prophets, with Prophet Adam. When Allah announced the creation of Prophet Adam, some angels questioned, "Will you place in it those who cause corruption and shed blood?" But there were others who remained silent, firm and obedient, never questioning. Tasawwufi scholars identify these as the angels Sābit Saqa, the ones who showed the foremost adab, meaning etiquette, by bowing to Allah's wisdom. When Adam was taught the names, these angels stood as witnesses to the superiority of knowledge given to mankind. With Prophet Nuh endured centuries of rejections. Some hadith and tafsir mention that angels prayed for him and for his followers. The angels Sābit Saqa in this story are seen as those angels who never ceased glorifying Allah through the storm, witnessing the flood as part of divine decree and strengthening Prophet Nuh's heart by their unseen presence. With Prophet Ibrahim, when Prophet Ibrahim was thrown into the fire, angels rushed to offer help. But he replied, "Allah is sufficient for me." The angels Sābit Saqa are interpreted as those angels who stood firm in silent obedience, not interfering without Allah's command. They are examples of angels who know the limits of adab, acting only with divine permission. Their role was to witness the miracle, the fire becoming cool and safe. With Prophet Musa at Mount Tur, when Prophet Musa requested to see Allah, the Qur'an says the mountain crumbled under divine manifestation. Tafsir narrations mention that angels were present at this scene, overwhelmed by the tajalli, meaning manifestation. Tasawwufi commentaries identify the angels Sābit Saqa as those angels who remain firm in dhikr during this overwhelming moment, reflecting their stability even when the cosmos trembled. They also served as witnesses when Allah spoke directly to Musa. With Prophet Isa, angels supported Sayyida Maryam, giving her glad tidings of Prophet Isa's birth. After Isa's ascension, hadith mention angels guarding him in the heavens. Angels Sābit Saqa are interpreted as those angels foremost in affirming the divine word kun that brought Isa's miraculous birth. They embody the fixedness of divine will that no enemy could overturn. With Prophet Muhammad, the Prophet was directly supported by angelic hosts. At Badr, 1,000 angels led by Angel Jibreel. On the night journey, meaning Miraj, angels filled the heavens in rows, glorifying Allah, some bowing, some prostrating. The angels Sābit Saqa are considered among these, angels fixed in their worship, forming rows in the heavens when the Prophet passed by. They also represent the unshakable witnesses to his maqam, meaning station, as Al-Habib al-Mustafa. According to Hazrat Ibn Arabi, the Sābit Saqa are the angels who never broke adab in the story of Prophet Adam, and by extension, they remain the angelic witnesses of every prophet's truth. With prophets, their role is not so much active intervention like angel Jibreel delivering revelation, but rather being the eternal witnesses of divine decree. They stand firm as cosmic supporters, reflecting stability when prophets faced rejection, trials, or miracles. Their fixed obedience mirrors the prophet's fixed trust, meaning Thabat al-Iman in Allah. Tasawwufi and Tariqa symbolism of angels Sabit Saqa. 1. The fixedness of heart, meaning Thabat al-Qalb. In Tasawwuf, the angels Sābit Saqa represent the ultimate spiritual state of fixedness, meaning Thabat. Just as these angels are immovable in their obedience, the Tasawwuf and Tariqat masters seeks a heart that never wavers in dhikr, trust and submission to Allah. Hazrat Imam Ghazali writes in Ihya Ulum al-Din, the angel who stands unwavering before the throne mirrors the heart that is firm in remembrance. To reach Sābit Saqa is to reach a station where every breath is praise and the soul no longer drifts in heedlessness. Here, angel Sābit Saqa is a mirror for the perfected servant, the one whose heart remains stable amidst trials and temptations. 2. Dhikr al-Nafas, the breath as worship. Masters like Hazrat Ibn Arabi emphasize that angels Sābit Saqa are in constant dhikr, each breath glorifying Allah. In Tariqa, disciples are instructed to synchronize breath with dhikr. Inhale with awareness of Allah's mercy, exhale glorifying His names. This practice elevates humans to a spiritual station resembling angels Sābit Saqa, where every breath becomes a proof of Allah's existence, mirroring the angelic constancy. Maulana Rumi says in Masnavi, when your heart breathes in remembrance, you join the ranks of the unseen, the stationary angels who know no lapse. 3. The foremost, the As-Sabiqun. The Qur'an mentions the foremost in Iman and obedience. Tasawwufi masters interpret angels Sābit Saqa as the angelic counterpart of these human stations. In Tariqa, one strives to be among the foremost by cultivating absolute trust, meaning tawakkul in Allah, constant dhikr both silent and loud, submission to the murshid for guidance in the inner states. These actions symbolically align the disciple with the angelic ranks, reflecting cosmic harmony. 4. Witnessing divine decree. In Tasawwufi cosmology, angels Sābit Saqa are the witnesses of divine decree. They silently observe every act of creation and every divine command. Hazrat Ibn Arabi writes in Futuhat al-Makkiyah, the fixed angels are mirrors for the soul. To behold their constancy is to recognize that all creation, all human striving is recorded and witnessed. This awareness guides the seeker to act with intention and sincerity. The secrecy here is that the angel's steadfastness influences the subtle realms, helping the aspirant attune to divine order. 5. Spiritual light and illumination. The angels Sābit Saqa, being of Nur, symbolize the perpetual light of guidance in Sufism. Hazrat Shams Tabriz, in his discourses with Maulana Rumi, explains, the light of the stationary angels is not merely illumination of the heavens, but of the hearts that seek Allah. The heart fixed in dhikr reflects this light. It is the lamp guiding the murid through unseen realms. Thus, angels Sābit Saqa are symbolic archetypes of inner luminosity, a model for the purified, vigilant heart. 6. Symbolism of immobility. Their immobility is not passivity, but perfect alignment with divine will. Hazrat Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani comments, the angels who never falter teach the murid that true movement is not of the body alone, but of the soul in submission. To remain stationary in divine obedience is greater than wandering in the world. This conveys the mystical principle that spiritual stability outweighs worldly activity. 7. Rank and hierarchy. Hazrat Ibn Arabi describes Sābit Saqa as occupying the highest tiers of angelic hierarchy after the throne bearers called Hamalil. For the Tasawwufi seeker, this hierarchy is not status, but spiritual gradation. The closer one aligns one's heart with divine command, the nearer one is to this angelic stability. 8. The mirror of human perfection. Maulana Rumi often links angelic constancy with human potential. If your heart imitates the fixed angels in obedience, it transcends its cage of flesh and time. Then the human can be superior to angels in the subtle realms, for angels never traverse the path of love, they merely witness it. This reflects a central Tasawwufi teaching. Alignment with angels, Sabit Saqa, is not imitation but spiritual ascent. 9. Angela, Sabit Saqa, as protectors of divine knowledge. Beyond worship, Tasawwufi scholars suggest they are guardians of hidden knowledge, silently recording divine wisdom and transmitting it subtly to prophets and saints. Hazrat Imam Ghazali notes, the angels who never falter preserve the mysteries of the unseen. The soul attuned to them glimpses guidance beyond the mundane. 10. Practical symbolism for murids, meaning students and seekers. Murids are instructed to emulate Sābit Saqa by stability in dhikr, every breath in remembrance of Allah. Fixed obedience to the murshid, following guidance without wavering. Patience and constancy, remaining unmoved in trials. Witnessing one's own deeds, internalizing the angelic observation. These acts align human action with angelic constancy, cultivating a heart that mirrors the angels' Sābit Saqa. Tasawwufi commentary. Hazrat Imam Ghazali. In Ihya Ulum al-Din, Imam Ghazali describes the angels Sābit Saqa as the ultimate model of unwavering devotion. He emphasizes that their fixedness is not mere rigidity, but an eternal alignment with divine will. These angels are the exemplars of hearts that never waver. Just as they remain firm in their worship, the murid must cultivate a heart that remains steady in dhikr, even amidst trials, temptations, and worldly distractions. Their constancy is a mirror for the soul's inner stability. Their silence before Allah is a lesson in humility. Imam Ghazali also points out that humans, through constant awareness and disciplined remembrance, can reflect the qualities of angels Sābit Saqa, achieving a spiritual rank higher than that of many angels because humans exercise free will and love, which angels do not. Hazrat Ibn Arabi. In Futuhat al-Makkiyah, Hazrat Ibn Arabi presents the angels Sābit Saqa as archetypes of divine perfection, symbolic of the immutable nature of divine decree. He writes, the Sābit Saqa are the mirrors of the divine order. In their fixed worship, they embody the constancy of existence itself. For the seeker, recognizing their station illuminates the path of true submission, teaching that constancy in the inner states is superior to motion in the outer world. Hazrat Ibn Arabi also links them to the foremost of humans, meaning as Sabiqun, those whose hearts are permanently aligned with the divine. The angels are eternal witnesses, while the human can attain spiritual insight and love, achieving a dynamic perfection the angels themselves cannot. Hazrat Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani. Sheikh Jilani highlights their role as spiritual models for murids in Al-Gunya li Talib al-Haq. The angels who never falter instruct the disciple in the art of immobility in spiritual vigilance. To emulate them, the seeker must remain steadfast in dhikr, patient in trials, and constant in the obedience of the murshid. The angels' fixedness is not physical but spiritual. They are always immersed in divine remembrance, and those who follow their example may rise above their own egos. He also underscores their symbolic function. The angels Sābit Saqa guard the integrity of divine knowledge, ensuring the murid receives guidance aligned with cosmic order. Hazrat Shams Tabriz. Hazrat Shams Tabriz, the son of Tabriz and the son and spiritual guide of Maulana Rumi, emphasizes the mystical light of the angels Sābit Saqa. These angels are the lamps of divine guidance. Their light illuminates the unseen corridors of the heart. When the seeker contemplates their constancy, he glimpses the unchanging truth behind the world's impermanence. They show that true stability is not in objects or people, but in alignment with Allah's will. Hazrat Shams also links them to love and surrender. A murid attuned to this angelic constancy begins to reflect their light, moving beyond worldly distractions. Maulana Rumi. Hazrat Rumi, the murid of Hazrat Shams Tabriz, frequently references angels in general and the angel Sābit Saqa in particular as models of inner stability and spiritual ascent. The stationary angels are like the mountain in the heart of the lover. Unmoved by storms, they hold the secret of the beloved. He who aligns his heart with their constancy discovers the inner sea of divine love. While the angels are fixed, humans, through love, can transcend their form, becoming lights upon lights in the inner world. Hazrat Rumi also conveys that these angels serve as the invisible companions for saints and seekers, witnessing every act of remembrance and silently reinforcing spiritual vigilance. Synthesis of Sufi commentaries. Constant worship. All masters agree that Sābit Saqa exemplify unwavering obedience. Mirror for murids, they serve as spiritual models for the disciple's heart, particularly in dhikr, patience, and submission to a murshid. Light and illumination. The angel's constancy is a source of inner illumination, guiding hearts toward the divine. Witnesses of divine decree, their presence assures the seeker that all acts are observed and that constancy in obedience has cosmic significance. Potential surpassing angels. Through free will, love, and spiritual discipline, humans may attain a dynamic perfection surpassing the fixed angelic state. Possibility of seeing them in real life. In traditional Tasawwufi understanding, it is extremely rare for a seeker to see the Sābit Saqa in full form with physical eyes. These angels are not messengers like Angel Jibreel, who visibly appear to prophets, but witnesses of the cosmic decree and symbols of permanence in the unseen realm. If they do manifest, it is never in their true form, which is beyond human endurance. Instead, they may appear as lights, immovable figures, or even human-like forms of serenity and silence. Some saints and awliya reported that they sensed an overwhelming stillness or gravity of presence during certain moments of deep dhikr or while reciting Qur'an. This was interpreted as a visitation of angels Sābit Saqa. In real life, such experiences are more felt than seen. A sudden hush, a heart filled with tranquil firmness, or the feeling of being watched by beings of pure silence. Seeing them in dreams. Dreams, meaning Ruya Sadiqa, are one of the most common means through which angels Sābit Saqa may reveal themselves. Since they symbolize constancy and divine decree, their appearance in a dream often comes during times of spiritual instability to reassure the seeker to stay firm, moral testing reminding the murid of Allah's eternal decree, moments of decision when a seeker is about to change their path. Sābit Saqa appear as immovable figures, luminous beings, or even as mountains, symbolizing remain firm. Example in Sufi tradition, a disciple once dreamed of countless rows of angels standing in perfect silence, gazing upward. His sheikh interpreted, "These are angels Sābit Saqa, showing you that your heart must become like theirs, steadfast, unshaken, forever in dhikr." Seeing them in kashf, meaning unveiling and spiritual visions. In Kashaf, where the inner sight of the heart is opened, angels Sābit Saqa may appear more directly. They manifest as beings of pure stillness and radiant light, unmoving but filled with a presence that communicates without speech. Sometimes they appear as scroll holders or as luminous entities standing at thresholds, symbolizing the boundary between dunya and akhirah. Their silence often speaks directly to the heart of the seeker, conveying divine instruction without words. Shaykh Ibn Arabi wrote that when a murid sees angels Sābit Saqa in Kashaf, it is a sign that the heart is approaching a state of alignment with divine decree, and such visions serve as both glad tidings and a test of humility. Conditions of seeing them. Tasawwufi masters emphasize strict conditions before one can truly encounter Sābit Saqa. Purity of heart, meaning tazkiyat nafs, where the seeker must undergo purification from ego, anger, arrogance and lust. Continuous dhikr, as constancy in remembrance, attracts constancy from the unseen world. True guidance, where murid must be under the watch of a qualified shaykh, otherwise experiences may be self-delusions or whispers of jinn. Love of Qur'an, as many Tasawwufi and Tariqat masters experienced angelic visions after prolonged recitation with sincerity, especially verses of Surah Al-Waqi'ah, Surah Al-Muzammil and Surah Al-Safat. Fasting and night prayers like Tahajjud, as night vigils cleanse the heart's mirror, making it receptive to higher angelic realities. Precautions and warnings. This is where Tasawwufi masters are very cautious. Deception by jinn, as many seekers have been deceived by shayatin or lower jinn who imitate angelic forms. Not every light or vision is an angel. Ibn Taymiyyah warned, Shaitan may appear in the likeness of angels, but the fruits of such visions reveal their truth. Arrogance and pride come from Shaitan. Humility and obedience come from Allah. No seeking of visions as a murid is forbidden from chasing visions. The focus must be on Allah alone, not on angelic encounters. Visions are gifts, not goals. Silence of vision, as true angels Sābit Saqa do not speak much. If the entity begins giving long commands, predictions or demands, this is most likely a deceiving spirit. The real angels Sābit Saqa inspire silence, firmness and dhikr. Humility after vision, where the seeker must immediately consult his shaykh and never boast of the vision, for even a true experience can become poison if mixed with pride. While they appear to some and not others, they appear mostly to those who are spiritually unstable but chosen for higher stations, giving them reassurance of divine constancy. They also appear to saints and awliya as guardians of maqamat, meaning stations, reminding them of the eternal cosmic order. For many seekers, they never appear at all. Instead, their influence is felt silently by a heart that becomes steadfast in worship and remembrance. The hidden secret meaning, sir, of Sābit Saqa in Tasawwuf. Angels Sābit Saqa symbolize the heart that has died before dying, meaning al-maut, qabl al-maut. Just as these angels are fixed forever in their station, the seeker who surrenders fully to Allah becomes like them, unshaken by dunya, firm in remembrance and steady in love. Thus, seeing them is less about visual perception and more about becoming like them inwardly. When the murid's heart no longer wavers between dunya and Allah, it has in fact seen and mirrored the Sābit Saqa. Role in the grave. When a soul enters the grave, it encounters the initial realm of judgment and awareness. The angels Sābit Saqa, as angels of constancy and divine decree, have a unique role here. They observe the steadfastness of the soul during its earthly life, the firmness of faith, consistency in dhikr, adherence to divine commandments, and constancy in the love of Allah are all recorded in spiritual measures observed by these angels. Their presence is felt as a stabilizing force. For souls that were wavering or negligent, this manifests as a subtle pressure or trial, reflecting the contrast between human fluctuation and angelic constancy. They act as witnesses to the soul's inner constancy, standing silently in the unseen, confirming whether the soul maintained firmness of heart, submission to the divine, and devotion to the Prophet. For the spiritually advanced, their presence brings comfort, calmness, and a sense of divine protection, showing that the unwavering soul is aligned with divine decree. Tasawwufi commentaries emphasize that the grave is not just a physical enclosure, but a mirror for the soul. The Sābit Saqa's constant vigilance reveals the soul's inner realities, revealing any contradictions between outer deeds and inner spiritual states. Role in Barzakh, the intermediary realm. Barzakh is the liminal space between death and resurrection, where the soul awaits its final destiny. Here, the angels Sābit Saqa play an even more active and profound role. They act as guardians of the soul's constancy, ensuring that the soul remains aligned with the divine decree during its transition. Their presence symbolizes the continuation of the soul's trial in terms of inner steadfastness. They mediate spiritual experiences, allowing the soul to witness glimpses of divine realities in proportion to its constancy and devotion in worldly life. Souls who had cultivated inner firmness experience peaceful illumination, often described in Sufi texts as the light of permanence surrounding the soul. For negligent or wavering souls, the angels Sābit Saqa's presence manifests as intense spiritual pressure or scrutiny, reflecting the cosmic balance between divine mercy and justice. Their constancy serves as a spiritual benchmark against which the soul's inner discipline is measured. Some Tasawwufi masters note that the awareness of angels Sābit Saqa in Barzakh is subtle but perceptible, often described as a deep tranquility, a feeling of being surrounded by immovable light which prepares the soul for the coming judgment. Role on Qiyamah, on the Day of Judgment, the angels Sābit Saqa assume their cosmic role as eternal witnesses of constancy. They stand as pillars of divine order, demonstrating the principle that divine decree is constant, eternal, and unaffected by human fluctuations. They observe, record, and confirm the deeds of all souls, particularly in relation to spiritual constancy and inner devotion. This is beyond mere bookkeeping. They reflect the alignment of human actions with divine will. Souls who are steadfast in dhikr, prayer, devotion, and humility may find that the Sābit Saqa testify favorably for them, reinforcing their light and making their position among the righteous more secure. In contrast, those who wavered, succumbed to ego, or ignored spiritual discipline encounter the contrast of divine constancy as both a witness and a measure of what they could have achieved. Tasawwufi symbolism describes them as immovable lamps of light, their constancy illuminating the vast cosmic balance, showing every soul its true spiritual state. Their presence on Qiyamah emphasizes that true permanence is spiritual, and the soul's alignment with divine will is the measure of its eternal value. Protection and awareness through a Kamil Murshid, a perfect spiritual guide. In Tasawwufi tradition, the Murshid, the spiritual guide, is essential for awareness and spiritual protection. A Murshid helps the seeker align their inner states so that encounters with angels Sābit Saqa, whether through dreams, kashf, or spiritual feeling, are authentic and transformative rather than misleading or confusing. The guide teaches the disciple how to purify the heart, regulate the breath meaning nafas, and engage in consistent dhikr, allowing the soul to resonate with the constancy of angels Sābit Saqa. Practices taught by a murshid include awareness of inner fluctuations, controlling ego-driven impulses, and surrendering to divine decree, which is the key to being spiritually protected by these angels. The Murshid also instructs on avoiding spiritual arrogance, which could distort experiences and guides the seeker in interpreting visions or kashf correctly, ensuring they lead to humility, steadiness, and obedience to Allah. A murshid awakens the seeker to the reality that every breath is a form shaped by zikr. By teaching breath zikr, the murshid transforms the human into a being of continuous remembrance, surpassing angels. A kamil murshid, meaning a perfect spiritual guide, is considered in tasawwuf the inheritor of the Prophet, guiding seekers on the path from clay, meaning nafs, to light, meaning ruh. The kamil murshid helps awaken this nafas al-Rahman, meaning breath of the All-Merciful, within the disciple, also as stated in Surah Kahf, verse 17. Whoever Allah guides is truly guided, but whoever He leaves to stray, you will never find for them a murshid, meaning a spiritual guide. Angels are always in dhikr, but their dhikr is fixed and limited to the forms Allah gave them. Man, however, through guidance of a murshid, can transform his every breath into dhikr, making his remembrance continuous, like angels, and even higher because it comes through free will. In tariqat, the murshid teaches habs al-nafas, meaning watching the breath, and zikr kafi, meaning silent dhikr. Every inhalation and every exhalation affirms Allah and He alone. This makes the seeker live in the constant rhythm of divine presence. Through Qur'an, the Qur'an emphasizes constancy, remembrance, and submission to Allah's will, all of which resonate with the qualities of angels Sābit Saqa. Reciting and reflecting on verses that emphasize steadfastness, trust, and divine order strengthens the heart's alignment with these angels. Recommended surahs include Surah Al-Baqarah emphasizes guidance and firmness in faith. Surah Al-Hashr encourages mindfulness of Allah and deeds. Surah Al-Mulk is the recognition of Allah's sovereignty and eternal order. Surah Al-Insan is a reminder of divine decree in human existence. Regular Quranic reflection and tahfid, meaning memorization, serve as spiritual armor, protecting the heart from wavering and cultivating awareness of divine constancy. Through dhikr and breath practices, continuous dhikr, meaning remembrance of Allah, is central. In tasawwufi symbolism, the breath itself can become a channel of constant remembrance, echoing the perpetual vigilance of Sābit Saqa. Practices include silent dhikr of the heart, focusing on the presence of Allah in every inhale and exhale, counting dhikr beads while reflecting on constancy and submission, breathing meditations where each nafas aligns with attributes of steadfastness, patience, and submission to divine decree. These exercises strengthen the soul's alignment with angels Sābit Saqa and protect it from spiritual fluctuation, doubt, and distraction. Through du'as, several supplications are recommended to seek alignment with divine order. Allahumma ajal qalbi thabitan ala dinik, meaning, O Allah, make my heart firm upon your religion. Morning and evening adhkar from hadiths of the Prophet to protect from misguidance and ensure inner stability. These prayers act as a spiritual shield, calling upon Allah to fortify the soul in accordance with the constancy exemplified by angel Sabit Saqa. Through practical acts, steadfastness in prayer, meaning salah, performing prayers on time with presence of heart, anchors the soul. Charity and service done consistently, even if small, cultivates spiritual constancy. Fasting and voluntary worship, where these acts discipline desires and nurture inner firmness, avoiding distractions and minimizing engagement in activities that disturb the heart stability, such as gossip, greed, or arrogance. Acts to avoid, to remain aligned with the constancy of angels Sābit Saqa and receive their spiritual support. One must avoid arrogance and pride, which repel angelic proximity, Neglecting dhikr and inactivity in remembrance weakens inner steadfastness. Disobedience to divine commandments as moral laxity disconnects from the angel's witness. Chasing visions or spiritual experiences as seeking angels for sight rather than cultivating inner constancy invites self-deception. Attachment to dunya, clinging to worldly desires, destabilizes the heart and obstructs awareness of divine decree. Spiritual lesson: angels Sābit Saqa are not threats but mirrors of spiritual constancy, guiding the soul towards firmness, awareness, and alignment with divine order. Protection comes not from external acts but from internal purification, constant remembrance, humility, and submission to Allah, ideally under the guidance of a Kamil Murshid. Those who follow this path experience inner resilience, clarity of vision, and a sense of cosmic stability, echoing the unmovable presence of Sabit Saqa. Ultimately, aligning with the principles of angels, Sabit Saqa ensures that one's heart, soul, and actions remain steadfast across the grave, barzakh, and qiyamah. So, dear viewers, the angels Sābit Saqa, often called the angels of constancy, occupy a profoundly significant role in the spiritual, esoteric, and cosmic realms of Islamic understanding. Their very existence reflects the divine principle of permanence, order, and unwavering decree, serving as eternal witnesses to human constancy and steadfastness. From the moment of a soul's creation to its ultimate meeting with Allah on Qiyamah, these angels are intimately involved in the spiritual fabric of life, reminding seekers that true stability is not measured by worldly achievements, but by inner alignment with the divine will. In the grave, the angels Sābit Saqa act as silent witnesses and stabilizers, reflecting the inner state of the soul and revealing whether the heart maintained firmness in faith, obedience, and remembrance of Allah. In barzakh, they guide the soul through the intermediary realm, providing illumination for those who are spiritually steadfast, and applying subtle scrutiny for those whose hearts wavered. On the Day of Judgment, their role becomes cosmic and universal. They stand as immovable witnesses to the constancy of human devotion, ensuring that divine order is upheld and that the measure of every soul's steadfastness is fully revealed. Tasawwufi masters, from Imam Ghazali and Hazrat Ibn Arabi to Hazrat Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani, Maulana Rumi, and Hazrat Shams Tabriz, have all emphasized the profound symbolism of the angels Sābit Saqa. They represent the ideal of spiritual stability, reminding seekers that inner constancy surpasses outer appearances and worldly fluctuations. Tasawwufi teachings highlight that aligning the heart with divine constancy through dhikr, breath meditation, murshid-guided practice, Quranic reflection, and constant self-purification cultivates a spiritual resonance with these angels, enabling the soul to reflect their unmovable presence. Those who achieve such alignment are not only protected from the spiritual pitfalls of negligence and wavering, but also prepare themselves for the divine scrutiny of the grave, barzakh, and qiyamah. Possibilities of witnessing these angels, whether in dreams, kashf, or subtle real-life perception, are acknowledged in Tasawwufi texts, yet caution is repeatedly emphasized. True spiritual insight must be guided by humility, obedience, and a murshid. Attempts to seek these angels for prideful or vain reasons can lead the seeker astray, reflecting the very opposite of what the Sābit Saqa symbolize: steadfastness, devotion, and submission. Practically, protection and awareness regarding the angels Sābit Saqa are achieved through steadfast dhikr, reflection on the Qur'an, sincere prayer, cultivating humility, avoiding arrogance and worldly attachment, and consistent ethical and spiritual acts. These measures ensure that the seeker's heart is aligned with divine constancy, inviting the grace and support of the angels, Sābit Saqa, in life, after death, and throughout the ultimate reckoning. In conclusion, the angels Sābit Saqa are not merely unseen cosmic beings, but eternal mirrors of divine order, whose witness challenges humanity to rise above inconsistency, heedlessness, and the distractions of the ego. Their presence calls every seeker to cultivate steadfastness in faith, devotion, and moral conduct, emphasizing that the soul's true measure is its constancy before Allah. By aligning with their principle, through guidance from a murshid, spiritual discipline, remembrance, and ethical action, one can attain inner stability, protection across all realms of existence, and the ultimate honor of being in harmony with the immutable order of the divine. Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoy this content and find it beneficial, we kindly ask you to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel for more authentic faith-strengthening content, and let's continue this journey of knowledge together. Inshallah, see you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.